If it wasn't for me, if it wasn't for Kaysan, there's no new FaZe. I don't give a fuck who just heard that. Like, what? It is a fact. Know your rage. No Kaysan. No new FaZe. That's it.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This FaZe development is still kind of going through. There's the guys have come out and they were talking about it a little bit. And like I said, I don't really care. I said this in another video. I don't really care too much about like the drama side of things. That stuff's not really important to me. But because of my own sort of like personal interests and what I do, the business sides of things is super interesting to me. With these guys coming out and doing their streams since the whole ordeal happened and they decided to leave FaZe, let's take a look at it and see what's going on. Let's see what Rage said.
Yo, what the fuck been going on the internet, gang? What's been going on in the streaming world, bro? Every day, every week is more bullshit. I do gotta watch what I say if I want to get what I want.
You know what's funny? I will say this. Something that I find very interesting is these guys are so much more cognizant of the legal ramifications of their actions than a lot of other people. So you can say people are clowns, you can say they're dumb, you could say this, that. I'm telling you, based on how long I've been around and the people that I know and the things that I've seen, people do not understand the breadth of their words. I think it's very interesting. Live streaming is in a weird space where it is too Hollywood and not Hollywood enough at the same time. The reason I say that is because of exactly this. People don't understand the weight of their words, but then also sometimes people act like they're a bigger deal than they are, and it's like kind of cringe. But at the end of the day, like you have to understand like what you're doing and what you're saying and the impact of those words. Too Hollywood, like wrap around meta glasses. Okay.
So I do gotta be careful what I say if I want to get what I want in the long run. You understand what I'm saying? If you get what I'm saying, then you get what I'm saying. It will make sense. Listen, this shit's sad, chat. Did y'all think this shit was a troll? Y'all thought we was trolling? Do any of y'all still think we trolling at all or nah? It's like 100%. Take your time. All right, gang. I need to see y'all opinions on new FaZe in general. The last 2 years, what's y'all opinion on FaZe? The niggas turn shit around? The niggas turn shit around pretty quick, gang? Hey, that was like a 6 months turnover. Kaysan hit me up, yo, we gotta create some shit. I bet 6 month, boom. That's a squad. And I'm sick and tired of niggas not giving my dog credit. Yo, gang, I don't care how nobody feel about this. If it wasn't for me, if it wasn't for Kaysan, there's no new FaZe. I don't give a fuck who just heard that. Like, what? It is a fact, my nigga. I'm tired of, like, what the fuck am I? What the fuck? That is simply it. Know your rage. No Kaysan. No new FaZe. That's it.
I want to get to like more like business side of things than the drama stuff though.
And just to be quite fucking clear, all that nigga shit niggas was saying, I did not know nothing of that till niggas was gone. You know.
The fact that I skipped to that. The fact that I skipped to that. What does that mean? Like you gotta, if you have the pass, you know what that means. If you know what he just said means, then you probably have the pass. That's all I'm saying. Let's see what Kaysan had to say.
Listen.
Is this your FaZe counterpart? So those of you guys who don't know Kaysan is FaZe's token Persian guy. Like I'm OTK's token Persian guy that is in tune with the business side of things.
The Persians are great negotiators.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, thank you. Anyway, continue.
I want to talk to you guys. A lot of this is obviously very confusing. It's obviously unfortunate. It's obvious. Don't 6'7" me right now of all times, bro. Okay, like,
dude, that's so stupid.
I'm trying to think of where to begin, bro. Where do I begin?
Oh, I need to get my blazer on for my businessman.
You know, I decided to leave. With all the guys. But this is what's confusing to a lot of people about my situation. It's like I've left, but in a way I haven't. And that's something I want to clear up for you guys because I think that is the confusion when it comes to esports and when it comes to FaZe Media, FaZe Esports, even FaZe Vegas. I just want to clear a lot of this up for you guys on kind of the infrastructure of the business and why I tweeted that when I was leaving, I'm continuing running and growing FaZe Esports. After I joined FaZe, guys, I attached myself a lot to the esports brand before it separated. And for those who know, a man named Eric Anderson has been involved in FaZe esports for a very long time, even back when it was all one big thing in FaZe esports and FaZe Clan. What happened was GameSquare acquired FaZe as a whole. Then later, GameSquare sold the creator side to FaZe Media, which was Matt Kalish. Just to give you guys kind of the history lesson.
I think a lot of people get confused about this. So when you have like an org, there's a lot of different parts to it. I've noticed people be like, I'll be like, yeah, like we were one of, I think we were the first content org, like OTK. I think it was like the first like quote content org instead of an esports org. And then people are like, well, what about OTV? Or what about this? What about that? It's like, well, OTV is an org now, actually. But originally they weren't an org, they were just like a content group, a collective, right? But they weren't like an official org. Now, it's like, what do you consider to be like an org? Is it just this is it any sort of content collective? Or is it like something that is an actual like business entity? Good example of this is looking at like Arky and Yugi and the OSCS guys, right? So they have their house they call it OSCS, right? But they're not an actual org, they're collective. When he's talking about like FaZe Media versus FaZe Esports, you have like OTK Media, right? And that's like the sort of having the production company and doing the shows and the events and stuff like that. But then we don't have an esports branch, but instead OTK also operates as like the parent company for, you know, we started Starforge and all these things, right? That's kind of like the parallel here, where they're like, okay, well, we separated out FaZe Media from FaZe Esports and have them operating as two sort of separate entities. And then FaZe Media had, and it looks like specifically FaZe Media had Kalish come in as an investor who is the DraftKings guy.
After I joined FaZe, guys, I attached myself a lot to the esports brand before it separated. For those who know, a man named Eric Anderson has been involved in FaZe esports for a very long time, even back when it was all one big thing in
he says one big thing like FaZe
esports and FaZe Clan. What happened was GameSquare acquired FaZe as a whole. Then later, GameSquare sold the creator side to FaZe Media, which was Matt Kalish. Just to give you guys kind of the history lesson of kind of what is going on. So when that happened, GameSquare acquired all of FaZe esports, 100% of FaZe esports, something that I've also been attached to for now a few years. And for me, I was the only FaZe member who was attached to the FaZe esports side, which is 100% GameSquare, the FaZe media side, and also FaZe Vegas, which is AEV and GameSquare, which is the structure is so interesting.
Wait. Hold on. So I made an inference the other day whenever I was talking about this, I was talking about what I thought was happening. And what he's saying now is leading me to believe that even more so, what I said is probably something that is probably the thing that was going on. So he's saying how like this company owns this, that owns this, that owns this. It seems like their cap table is a disaster. And like you have the company split up into all these different like partitions, and it's their cap table is just like a huge mess, which is probably why Hardscope came back in and they were going to use that to essentially fix their cap issue. So I want to see what FaZe Vegas is. That's their Call of Duty League team is FaZe Vegas. Okay. Parent group, Atlanta Esports Ventures. That's AEV and FaZe Clan. So FaZe Clan owns both. FaZe Clan and Atlanta Esports Ventures together own FaZe Vegas. So FaZe Clan, and I don't know their equity and their cap structure or whatever, but FaZe Clan has a certain sort of cap structure. So they probably have like a, you know, this portion has like this portion is for FaZe, this portion is for AEV, and then underneath that you have the cap split up however it is for both sides. That would work as like an extension of the percentage from the top. Do they own anything else? So Atlanta Esports Ventures only owns FaZe Vegas as a subsidiary. And the owners of Atlanta Esports Ventures are Province Inc., which I don't know what that is, and Cox Enterprises. Is this like Cox Internet? Wait. It is. What? This is so... Okay. So Cox owns AEV, which together with FaZe Clan owns FaZe Vegas. And within all, like, so it's literally something like this. Maybe I'm wrong, right? But this is what it sounds like. By the way, there's nothing wrong with this. It's just hard to keep track of. That's the part that I'm getting like, what the hell about? So you have, you have Cox right here. So there's Cox. which has, you know, the different parts of Cox, right? So you have Cox Enterprises, which has all these different things, and of all these different things is Atlanta Esports Ventures, AEV, okay? And then AEV plus FaZe together own Vegas like this, okay? So this has a cap structure, this has a cap structure, and it trickles down, boom, boom. This is a cap structure, which goes here, right? And then there's some sort of whatever, like split between these two, which is probably like translates to that in some way or another. But then FaZe Vegas, which is their esports team for Call of Duty League, is owned like this, which is what Kaysan is trying to say. Okay, I think I got it.
Which is, the structure is so interesting.
That's so funny. Dude, the fact that I paused it right before he's like the structure. Okay.
And that has included Call of Duty and all the things I've done there and all the things I continue to do. That includes CSGO. That includes Rainbow Six. That includes everything we're part of. We're about to get into Fortnite and we're about to sign a Fortnite player. And it's something I'm heavily growing. It's something I really deeply care about. That is why I was very torn apart about this entire thing, is because, listen, I was a massive part of the reboot. And if you don't know, you should know that I was a massive part of the reboot and helping bringing all these guys together. For me, I felt very, very sad and in a very weird place because I also didn't want to let my boys down who were leaving. And that is also why whatever they decide to do and whatever that our group, I'm not gonna say their group, our group does, I will continue to do that with our group. But at the same time, I'm also not going to abandon FaZe Esports. And I'm making that very clear that it is a separate entity. People were worried that there was gonna be a massive impact on the FaZe Esports side. And I'm here to tell you guys that there is going to be no impact whatsoever to FaZe Esports.
So you know what's interesting about this is a lot of times, like what people see on stream is not even a lot of times, I would say most times, what people see on stream is simply that. It is what they see on stream and, you know, nothing more, nothing less. That's just what they see on stream. But because that is the only information that people have to go off of, people will make certain inferences and make certain assumptions based off of what information is available to them. So it's like Kaysan was saying, he's like, yeah, like I was a massive part of the reboot. Rage, same thing. I was a massive part of the reboot. Because these guys were a part of FaZe before the reboot. But these guys, their interest in the way they wanted to take things was more in that sort of like IRL content type direction, right? And really growing out the media brand, the media company for FaZe. But clearly, a lot of people don't know that. It's literally a if you know, you know thing. But a lot of people might have not seen it that way. Rage didn't move to LA with them. And Kaysan just already being there might have not been considered as part of it because of he didn't come in with the new guys. It's just like interesting because people just see what they see on stream. And I mean, there's tons of times where like, I'm gonna draw a parallel to OTK. You see what you see on stream, but what you see on stream, it's not like view count means essentially nothing. The most impactful person for OTK, Tips, is the guy doing everything on the back end. He has 0 viewers. You know what I mean? So like you have people like doing things on the back end, right? Or like just because somebody has a lot of viewers doesn't mean they do anything at all, right? And also just because somebody has no viewers doesn't mean they do anything at all. What I'm saying is the view count doesn't matter. But a lot of times people watch streamers and they think the view count is like directly related to the amount of work or the amount of value they provide and the amount of responsibility they have for the business, for the org. I just think it's kind of funny. I don't think it's something that most people think, but I do think there's a lot of people that think this. I think if you're like, I think if you're employed, if you're an older person who's had a job, who's been a part of the workforce, who's worked for a company or anything like that, probably already understands this and probably already assumes this. But if you're a kid, you probably don't understand this. To be fair, it's not intuitive. It's not something that is it makes sense for it to be like second nature.
The CS team is fine. Our Call of Duty team, who has also an incredible owner in Paul Hamilton, who is one of the greatest esports owners in the industry, is there, and I'm there running the show with him and his brother, obviously. We also have Zuma, who in my eyes is the every part of the identity of what I believe what FaZe should be. And I want to show so much love to my brother Zuma because he embodies what the brand is. I want to make that really clear. Eric Anderson, Eddie, Justin Kenna, who is the CEO of GameSquare, who is an incredible guy who cares so much and lets me and Eric and Eddie do what we need to do on the FaZe esports side to be the most competitive team, to get creative. And I'm there, chat. I'm there. I'm all in on it. I want to grow it as much as I possibly can, as I have been. Billy, thank you again for the 100 gifted.
I just have to say, sometimes, dude, when there's like an intense moment and like you're talking a lot or hey, I just need to get through this content right now. Like I'm talking about something and I need to get the message out, or let's say something is going on and then somebody like drops like 1 billion gifted subs and then it's like, thank you. You know what I mean? It ends up being something that's like almost awkward because it's like you feel like you're not giving a proper thanks for it, but at the same time, it's like I gotta finish this. Yeah, I gotta finish this. It's happened before. It's happened to everybody at some point, but it's like, yeah.
I have not made a fucking dollar off esports, and everything I do is for the passion and love of the game, bro. I swear to God, that is a fact.
I believe that.
I love this shit. I got into this shit. Bro, I love this shit, bro. I really do, man. I really do. And oh my God, bro. This shit has been so crazy, bro. This shit has been so crazy. I know a lot of the FaZe CS fans are worried about what's going on, and you have nothing to worry about. You know, I don't know the future for FaZe. I don't know if there is a future on the media side. Maybe there is, and I'm sure they're gonna do an incredible job. I have nothing but good things to say about FaZe, bro. You're gonna catch me in a stream and talk poorly about anyone. I'm not. I have nothing but gratitude, bro. They helped me build my career and everything I've done and given me an opportunity. And I'm not gonna sit here and say anything bad. And
thank you, Sanders, for the 5 gifted.
you know, I love this shit, bro. I love this shit. I'm here. I'm thankful to the boys who came in and helped make FaZe what it was these last couple years. I'm thankful for everyone, bro. Every single person, every FaZe member that has existed, to the founders, to everyone, bro. Truly. And I want everyone to know once again, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere in terms of FaZe esports. I'm going to make this shit as lit as I possibly can. I want to win. I know Eric Anderson and Eddie and Kenna feel the same way. I know Paul cares so much deeply. We care so much about our Call of Duty team. I want to fucking win, bro. It's all I fucking care about. And this is where my passion is. There's going to be a lot of watch parties. There's going to be so much other shit, bro. Hopefully we can build this shit, bro. We're going to make this shit fucking cool, bro. I promise. I'm going to do everything I can, bro. I'm going to do everything I can. Yeah, I wanted to clear all that up because a lot of people are worried, but I just wanted to tell you guys how different all these things are, kind of how the structure of how this stuff is. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you guys about how shit fell apart. That's not me, bro. I'm not gonna talk. I don't wanna get involved in all that kind of talking, bro. I feel like there's a lot circulating on the internet right now. The last thing I need to do is put more into it, bro.
I don't think this is like a PR stunt. Candidly, at the beginning of it, it very well could have been a PR stunt. I think it would have been fair to assume that, but it's gone on too long. It's just not a PR stunt at this point. The reason why it wouldn't be a PR stunt at this point is that it's gone on a little bit too long. And if something goes on too long before you flip it, then it's kind of like, oh, this is weird. Like, why would you? If it was like a one-day thing, it wouldn't have been weird. It would have been like a way to drum up some excitement. It's like, oh, we got you guys. Here's a new thing. And it's like, okay, cool. You can think about that what you want, but it's not that bad for like one day. But at this point, it's too far gone. You know, yeah, with Banks posting the video and everything, like it's not a... Yeah, it's not a PR stunt. Yeah, Adapt leaving, that was another reason. Seems like orgs are bad. Not really. There's just so much nuance to it, right? That was the big thing we got out of Kaysan's VOD. This thing that we already kind of inferred, their whole sort of cap situation is kind of crazy, which is probably why, because you had FaZe Esports, which is under FaZe Media, which is under, so you have FaZe Clan, which is owned by DraftKings. FaZe Media might not be its own entity. It might just be here. It might just be like the FaZe that we know. And this is owned by Gigamoon, which is DraftKings. Gigamoon and others, DraftKings. Okay, so I think this is what it looks like. So, I mean, obviously, like their entire sort of like business structure is insane. Now, these new guys that came in are not like large shareholders of the company, right? Like the Jasons, the Lacey's, like these guys are not large shareholders of the company. Somebody said Ludwig said something. Now, Ludwig is not a part of FaZe, but...
Ruined. FaZe Clan died.
Dude, Ludwig's hair. This is so funny looking to me. Ellen, dude, he has the Ellen swoop. This is so funny.
Who would have seen this coming? Who?
Actually, I think a lot of people kind of saw, or like at least were confused, but not in the same sort of way, not in a vindictive sort of weird way. It's like weird to like, I think it's so strange whenever people go and they prey on the downfall of others, because a lot of times that stems from jealousy and it is weird. And especially if you are another streamer, if you are another content creator, if you are another org, if you are another owner of a business, whatever it is, you are not good in the role that you are in the position you are in, if you are preying on the downfall of others or hoping that things go poorly for others. Because it is shown time and time again that it is better for everybody if everybody is working together and doing well. And as we saw a few years ago, there is permanent damage and rifts that have occurred due to the actions of certain individual people. And there's like relationships and stuff that have permanent problems. Like it sent a massive rift throughout the entire scope of live streaming. Massive rift. And it got weird and a lot of it's repaired, but not all of it, you know? And that happened because of jealousy, because of selfishness, because people would put themselves above others and they thought me first, and that is a problem. That's a different thing. Thinking that, hey, how do these guys make any money, question mark, is different than like preying on somebody else's downfall. Anyways, let's continue.
Who would have seen this? They won back-to-back Org of the Year, and OTK out-survived them. How is that possible? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Okay? From the outside in, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
So Paladins have lay on hands, chat. Earlier, I said you see what you see on stream, but what you see on stream is only what you see on stream, nothing more, nothing less. And the inferences that people draw is that a lot of viewers equals things going well for a business. A few days ago, somebody, this is like, actually it was after the Christmas stream, people asked about like OTK stuff. And I'm like, I'm not gonna get too much into it. But like, actually, this is crazy ironic because I think it was like the night before this whole thing went down, or like 2 nights before or something. But people ask like, "Oh, do you want to add new people to the org? Do you want to do this? Like, what do you want to do next year?" And I was like, "OTK is actually in exactly the right place it needs to be in right now. We're just more focused on the business side of things right now. It just kind of reset, and then we'll reset and reevaluate. There's no thought one way or another. Just keep driving the boat for now. We'll cross that boat when we get there." And OTK is just exactly fine, and just let it ride out.
Faze, cause you own Hardscope, nigga. What the fuck?
So that's problem one, right? FaZe Banks is pushed out because he has interpersonal issues with the talent. But then he is a part of Hardscope, which I know to be true because Banks is the one who hit me up initially about that ad for Streamer Awards. And I had no clue what it was. I was just like, I don't do anything with Streamer Awards. I pass them over to Cutie. But he's a part of Hardscope in some fashion. I don't know what.
That's
I don't know if
interesting.
the percentage of it. I don't know if he is a advisor to it. I don't know if he's an employee of it. I don't know how deep it goes. But Banks, although,
Yeah, I mean, it could mean nothing. To be fair, it technically means nothing. Technically, he could have been trying to make a connect. If we're being honest, like if we're being intellectually honest, it could mean anything. It doesn't actually specifically mean he's part of it, but it also could mean that he's part of it, right? So what significance does that hold? The significance that it holds is that Banks was no longer a part of FaZe for like the last 6 months. If Hardscope, my inference was that Hardscope was a new entity that was created by Kalish, who's the DraftKings guy, because of how the structure for FaZe was that we drew out earlier. And I don't know if that's accurate. That's just based on the information that I saw now, and I'm guessing. They might be, like the whole purpose of Hardscope might be to create like a bigger talent management company to oversee FaZe, but also to reset the cap, essentially. Like, because you can do weird stuff with like equity and like how cap is tied up and whatever. But yeah, maybe like their cap table is like, that's what my inference is based on everything. But if Banks was a part of that cap table, now it's weird because he just left FaZe. It's like a whole thing.
he can say, hey, I'm not a part of FaZe, and that be quote unquote true. It's not true to the faith of what that means because he's a part of Hardscope, at least advising, at the very least, advising to Hardscope, which directly funds FaZe Clan.
I mean, if he's just talking to them, it's a different thing, right? That's the line where it takes it from being a business thing to being a drama thing. What would you do? Let's say you're FaZe. At the point in which, hey, you're talking to these guys, and the allegation, nobody knows, the rumor is that there is a percentage that was brought up as a number of like, hey, like we need to take this percentage of your revenue and we'll keep doing all the stuff that we do, but we need a certain percentage of your revenue. And in the past, they weren't taking anything at all. The reason for this is because they needed to be able to sustain the business And it makes no sense because they're investing a ton of money into these guys, either for their content or for other things. Banks mentioned something about bots, which is kind of crazy because that was kind of the assumption for a long time. That was the assumption whenever they first started, whenever it was like they just kind of showed up and then all their view counts were going up. That's something that never happened on Twitch before. So now people are like, wait, maybe that was true. Realistically, they could have been botting people and they didn't even know about it. Realistically, if they're smart about the botting, they would have botted them and they would have not told them that they're botting them because they wouldn't have wanted them to know because it might affect their confidence. It kind of makes them, it like turns them into an accomplice in the botting. So is the parent company getting any money? Surely it was all sponsored to Twitch revenue. So they must have already been getting some percentage. Well, supposedly they were getting no percentage. And honestly, that's a big mistake. So typically whenever an org, so this is historically how orgs work. Historically, how orgs work, I've said this before, you sign people, you give them a salary, and in return for that salary, they do org content, which would include the sponsors and all the org sponsors that you have. So if you got an energy sponsor, you got a peripheral sponsor, or whatever it is, you now wave that banner, you have that logo on your overlay, you do the sponsor obligations, and it's just like a one-stop shop for everybody. So it's a decent deal. In the past, esports orgs, they didn't spend a lot of money on anything outside of like the competitions. So whenever they didn't spend a lot of money on anything outside of the competitions, this would like, your clothes and stuff like that. But like if you're spending money on other things to try and elevate your content, now you're in the rat race and you're spending tons and tons of money. Banks in that video said 40 million. I doubt it was it's so hard for me to believe 40 million. I'm just being honest. That is insane amount of money. Like I think he just made up a number, honestly. Like, it's just an absurd number. Just insane. They messed up when they signed them. Now they're already established and don't need the FaZe name. That's kind of true. It's more nuanced than that. Here's the truth. If they did not want to stay with FaZe, FaZe goes and talks to them and says, hey, here's what's going on. The way that we're currently running this business, when this whole thing went down, Kalish, FaZe, Hardscope, they go to the guys and they say, hey, the way that our business is currently structured makes no sense. This is unsustainable. We're just losing a ton of money by investing into you guys like this, and there's no return for the org. Right? We're not doing sponsors. We're not doing other things to make up for the cost of you guys getting all these benefits. Right? That is the discussion that is had. Now, I don't know if this is the discussion that is had, but based on everything that we've seen so far from either the streamers, Kalish's own statements in the article, whatever it was, it seems to me that that is realistically the core of what that conversation was. Now, what should have happened at that point when he asked, okay, you guys can either go your own way and be independent, or you can stay here, but we need a percentage. 20% is the rumored percent, nobody knows. I think what should have happened at that point when they said, no, we're gonna go our own separate ways, honest opinion, FaZe, the brand, did an insane amount for these guys. Unbelievable amount for these guys. But it was absolutely reciprocated. Maybe not 1-to-1, maybe not, it wasn't directly proportional, but it was reciprocated. And FaZe as a brand is in a better spot today than it was 2 years ago. So given that FaZe has trended up in the last 2 years, and even without these guys in the equation, is in a better spot. They leave, goes back down a little bit, but it doesn't go all the way down to where it was 2 years ago. I think what they should have done, kept it amicable, not made it weird, not turned business into a drama, and they should have just, hey, look, let's come out with a joint statement, handshake, it's all good, no hard feelings. This is just the way it is. Let's come out with a statement, something that we're all happy with. Hey, this is what we decided to do. These guys are leaving, they're doing their own thing. FaZe is also going to go in a new direction where we're going to focus more on the esports side of things and maybe step away from the IRL content or something else altogether. Who knows? But that's what they should have done. Because I think it would have not been weird. Now it's basically turned into a freaking fiesta because it turned into a drama. And now it's like there's some degree of bad blood from like the media side of things. It's just very weird. They binned FaZe Media 20 minutes ago. How are we gonna see this era of FaZe come to a close? It's beyond tragic the way it ended. It's been an emotional few days. We're support's best. FaZe esports always been. Rather, it will become our main focus moving forward. This is kind of like, this is what should have been done 2 days ago. Yeah, this is what they should have done this is what should have happened. This is the first thing that should have happened. Like, not these guys leaving publicly, not any of that. It's like, okay, look, we get it. it's just not going to work for any of us. And if it's not going to work for any of us, look, handshake agreement, let's do something that is just going to be amicable. It doesn't put anybody in a bad light, doesn't turn this into something it's not. Because that's the problem. That's a big reason why, like, I talk about it again. I'm going to say I've been beating it in the ground a little bit. But to me, it's like, I don't care so much about the drama stuff. So it's like you kind of have to like go through the weeds. I care about the business side of things. But a lot of times it gets intertwined because you need to have people fit for these roles, having these discussions and kind of making these decisions. Corpa. In your opinion, can a content org operate effectively at all with a controlling parent company or multiple as opposed to how TK is structured? The easy answer is like, oh, content orgs don't work. They're archaic. I think they can work, but it's hard. Now, if you have several different investors in the org, they're going to want to see some kind of return out of it. So they're going to want to have you do things. They're going to want to have things done in order to at least make their money back. But what they want is, you invest into something to get a lot more back, right? It can work. You just have to do the things that are going to feed into it. Before the new guys, they had a lot of sponsors. So here's something else about sponsors. Sponsors are going to want to sponsor people that they think they can get a proper return on for the going rate. If the rate is too high and they're like, well, that's out of our price range and we're not going to see a return on it, then they're not going to do it. So having a big sponsor is not automatically, like, having a lot of viewers doesn't equal sponsors automatically. Why do you think I get so many sponsors? So it's like that's just how it is, right? It's a lot of viewers doesn't automatically equal a lot of sponsors because every sponsor has different KPIs, different things that make sponsoring different people worth it. Your KPI for some event might be, hey, we want a lot of eyes on this product. We want a lot of people to see it. Another KPI could potentially be, we want people to buy the product, which I think is like one of the worst KPIs. It's funny because it's the most important is actual sales, but it's one of the worst KPIs to have because it's so definitive. Also, you don't have a lot of streamers that are going to be able to go to their viewers and tell their viewers, hey, buy this thing. You have a lot of viewers that aren't going to do it, and you have a lot of streamers that aren't going to do it and have it work. For me, I get a lot of repeat sponsors, and I do really well with sponsors. Why? Because one of the primary KPIs for a lot of sponsors is conversion rate. And when I say conversion, I'm talking about not like selling things, but just clicking a link, simply clicking a link. So whenever I do a sponsor and the link's in chat, I'm like, hey guys, and I'm very honest. I say exactly what it is. Guys, this is a link. They track how many times this link is clicked from different IPs or whatever, right? It's a tracking link. So they see, hey, people are clicking this link. That means streamer is doing their job. That means they're getting what they pay for, and it makes the sponsor happy. Because when a sponsor pays for somebody to do their job, you're signing a contract, okay? When you are paying for somebody to do an activation for you, you have certain things that you want to do. They have a job. So you need to go and you need to do that job. It's actually, I'll say this is one of the most insane things in the world. So me now, as somebody who, at my level of experience, I have a foot in each hole, right? I'm on both sides of the fence here. It's insane to me that in no other walk of life do you have a world where you will sign a contract. And don't get me wrong, nobody's perfect, right? I'm not perfect. There's terms that change. Something comes up. And it's because streaming is so different that this happens. But it is to an absurd degree that people will just cancel sponsors. Just, hey, you don't go through with deliverables. You don't want to do something and you don't do it. It's like, you signed a contract. That's what you agreed to beforehand. If you go and you sign a rent agreement, you pay the rent. If you know what I'm saying? If you go and you work for a company and you're employed by somebody, you sign a contract. They're going to pay you this much. So it's like, you got to do your job. For me, it's like, yeah, I tell chat, hey, can you guys go click the link? Because then they see that I'm doing my job, which is just simply asking, hey, just please click the link. You don't even have to buy it. My job is not to get you to buy it. My job is to showcase the game. And this is my honest belief as somebody who is a owner of a publishing company, a games publishing company, if the game is good, it will sell itself. You might need somebody to showcase it and to put it on a pedestal for people to see it. But if it is good, the product sells itself. You don't need to sell the product. You need to show the product. So just play the game and give it an honest try and have the most fun with it that you can. Talk about it, say this is what this game is about. Do the game. You call it out. Please click the link. And that's it. If they want to buy it, they can buy it. If they don't want to buy it, that's okay. But at least you're doing your job. Yeah, Megabong is a great example. Yeah, Hellclock, yeah. Who cancels and doesn't fulfill obligations like that? We're just gonna say plenty of streamers. Plenty of streamers. What is, I mean, I'm not gonna go and talk about that. And things happen, right? Streaming is such a different industry that it's reasonable to some degree to have something happen, right? There's so many sponsors, you know, sometimes something comes up and it's like, hey, I have to change the date for this, or I have to go live later, my PC broke, or it happens, right? And nobody's perfect. But it is a problem if it's like a repeat thing.
You would think that they would be able to make money through the sales pitch. And I'll be honest, he brought up Porsche and McDonald's. Bro, they kicked all the sponsors out. I was doing good business with Xfinity, Benjay. We were doing phenomenal business with Xfinity.
Phenomenal business.
Phenomenal. Everybody was eating. It was phenomenal business. And then everything happened and they said, oof, man, something happened with everything going on. We unfortunately had to step away from FaZe, but we loved working with you and thank you. Like, bro, what? Like, I'm like, bro, like, that's crazy. Like, we did have a lot of sponsors, but they wiped the sponsors when the whole new FaZe thing came. They wiped them.
Did they wipe the sponsors whenever they came or after they came? Because he just said two different things, and they mean very different things.
Able to make money through the sales pitch. And I'll be honest, he brought up Porsche and McDonald's. Bro, they kicked all the sponsors out. I was doing good business with Xfinity, Benjay. We were doing phenomenal business with Xfinity.
Phenomenal business.
Phenomenal. Everybody was eating. It was phenomenal business. And then everything happened and they said, oof, man, something happened with everything going on. We unfortunately had to step away from FaZe, but we loved working with you and thank you. Like, bro, what? Like, I'm like, bro, like, that's crazy. Like, we did have a lot of sponsors, but they wiped the sponsors when the whole new FaZe thing came. They wiped them. Like, they basically told them no sponsors, right? I think they wanted no sponsors to kick things off. I'll be honest, I don't even think that was a problem. Like, if they wanted to start off with no sponsors, I don't think that would have been a problem. But what happened to the relationship with all those companies? Like, what happened to you know what I'm saying? Like, what happened to that relationship? Like what?
How do you think those relationships? How do you think?
I don't know enough about the behind the scenes of what happened there to have like good insight on this. But this was 2 years ago. I mean, they might have been trying to do like the kind of, I mean, you're trying to appeal to the unemployed and say like, no sponsors, this content is not sponsored. So you know, it's not going to be intrusive to what we're doing. And in turn, well, okay, well, here's what you got is your business just crashed. It's like, okay, great. All the anti-work people are happy. You know what I mean? Like, it's TTS. You just can't do that. Like, that's like one thing. I think that's like the implication, but I don't know if that's true. The other part of it is this is in 2023 was whenever the COVID bubble was starting to burst. What solution do you think would have made both parties happy, or was it doomed from the start? Well, to me, the way they approached the whole thing was like, it was good Here's the thing that's so hard to put into words. The content was good. A lot of people loved it. A lot of people loved watching it. But when you're talking about just the business alone, it just didn't work. Like, they weren't making any money. They had it seemed like there was no plan to make any money that we know of. Like, maybe they had a plan, but it just didn't work. Like, maybe they couldn't get the sponsors. Maybe they couldn't do this, couldn't do that. I really don't understand what happened, because it seems to me they just wanted to throw a bunch of money at these guys and pay for like crazy, huge, big elevated content, but then not have a way to recoup the money spent on that and then some to be able to generate additional revenue to then pay your employees and stuff. Now, I'm sure they had some sponsors and some stuff like that. And whenever they did those sponsors, I'm sure those guys did those sponsors and not got paid for it, right? Because that's what happens sometimes. It's like, okay, well, you're part of the org. You don't get paid for this directly, but that's part of the org's income that we can use to pay our staff or employees, right? That's sensible. To me, it's like super interesting to kind of see how things play out. And I really do hope the best for all the guys. I like those guys. I've met them. But yeah, I've met all these guys at some point. I've gotten to know Rage. I just hope they're all doing well, because it's something that's hard, right? And I do think they probably made, I don't know the details, but I think they probably made the right choice. It's just a hard choice to have to make. Also, I started watching you from your collab with Rage. I love these deep business dives. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it, man. Content with Rage is fire. I have to expect convincing him getting a part in Rawson. Yeah, no, I would love to do more stuff with Rage. Doing stuff with Rage is super fun. I haven't kept up. I like watched it, the OTK, which sucks to be FaZe. Yeah, I know. I mean, even for FaZe, like, a lot of the FaZe esports guys, that's something else to consider. They have nothing to do with the other side of FaZe. They're just like going live, they're doing their thing, they're playing Fortnite, they're playing Call of Duty, they're doing their thing. And you could see it. We watched what Kaysan said, and Kaysan is kind of, it sounded like he's gonna head up like the esports FaZe Esports. I don't know what his exact role is going to be and what he's planning exactly, but I really do hope the best for him. I talked to Kaysan actually. I talked to him for a while at the Streamer Awards. He was trying to get me on RP. They all RP on D10. Everybody's just trying to get me on RP all the time, man. Maybe Cornwood comes back a little bit sooner than expected. Thank you guys for watching. YouTube, Instagram, Discord, Reddit, Twitch, Twitter. Everything is SFanTV. Come join the Twitter community. My TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. My Kick stream, whatever. I stream on Kick, YouTube, and Twitch. Everything is SFanTV. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. And subscribe and leave a comment.